Shifting focus now to West Asia, the region remains on the boil. The US conducted strikes on Iran for the 9th consecutive day. This was followed by a fierce retaliation by Iran. Even as the Iranian president, Masoud Pezeshkian, stresses that his country was fighting a full-scale war with the US, interestingly and very intriguingly, both sides hinting at pursuing talks as well. Let's just get you up to speed with what's been happening on the ground first, before we take you beyond the headlines. In a whole new escalation, Yemen's Iran-backed Houthis announced a maritime embargo of Saudi Arabia. Last week, hostilities between the two sides, remember, escalated after the Houthis accused Riyadh of launching airstrikes against the international airport in Sana'a. And in retaliation, it fired missiles at the international airport in Saudi Arabia. A closure of the Bab el-Mandeb Strait by the Houthis, the threats around it, will imply a new threat to the energy supplies as well, as nearly 7% of global crude oil transits that narrow corridor.
First, the Yemeni armed forces declare a maritime embargo against the criminal Saudi enemy based on the equation of an eye for an eye, effective immediately upon the issuance of this statement.
In fact, a few hours earlier, CENTCOM conducted airstrikes on Iran to diminish its ability to attack vessels in the Strait of Hormuz, according to them. America, in fact, claimed to have targeted Iranian military command centers, air defense and coastal surveillance sites, and communication networks. As per the US president, these strikes were carried out in honor of the US military personnel killed in recent days. The way things stand, the death toll of the confirmed American fatalities in the Iran war is 17, reportedly. And while we piece together what all unfolded, Iran retaliated by striking Syria once again. In fact, the IRGC claimed to have struck the Special Operations Command Center in the Al-Tanf region. It also targeted US military aircraft stationed at Jordan's airport, with ballistic missiles reportedly causing damage to a number of jets, as claimed. Kuwait also bore the brunt of multiple attacks. Iran not only claimed to have completely destroyed an early warning radar system, but also struck an MQ-9 drone hangar, allegedly, at the airbase there, reportedly setting several drones on fire, as claimed. Explosions were also heard in other parts. As per the local authorities, Iranian drones targeted Bahrain's civil air navigation systems, reportedly. That's not all. Iran claimed to have shot down an MQ-9 Reaper drone over the city of Ahvaz. Footage released by the IRGC of its attacks on West Asia showed missiles bearing the message, quote unquote, anyone who destabilizes the security of the Iranian people will not themselves be safe either, quote unquote. Meanwhile, air raid sirens sounded in Kuwait City as residents and visitors continued moving through the area. Kuwait's military stated that it was responding to a fresh round of missiles and drones unleashed by Iran. Iran also announced that 2 oil tankers which attempted to enter and exit the Strait of Hormuz through an unsafe and hazardous route reportedly exploded and were brought to a halt. The IRGC has warned that the strategic waterway will remain unsafe for transit for even a single drop of oil and gas, as long as America's quote-unquote aggression continued. At the same time, Iran revealed that diplomatic exchanges with the US via mediators were ongoing. As per Reuters, mediators have proposed a 10-day cessation of strikes to revive the MOU that was signed by Iran and America. Listen to this.
Proposals have been put forward and conveyed to us by the mediators. We have received them, but please excuse me from going into their details. However, the main point that the diplomatic apparatus has been active and that ideas from some mediators have reached us is confirmed.
And just for more context here, a day earlier, the US Secretary of State also showed America's willingness for a diplomatic settlement. even as he called upon other countries to join efforts to protest the safety of vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. So this is key messaging, but a number of questions still remain. Are the latest US attacks a precursor to a possible ground invasion? Let's tell you why this question comes up. As per reports, Donald Trump is leaning towards further expanding the US military operations as far as Iran is concerned. What are the options? They reportedly include sending ground forces to seize Iranian islands near Hormuz, like Kark, which, remember, handles 90% of Iran's crude oil exports. The other option being considered reportedly, let's break it down. It's the potential bombing of what's called the Pickaxe Mountain. That's where it is located, just to help you understand the geography of the area. The Pickaxe Mountain, something that Trump has been publicly talking about as well. Now, this highly fortified site is located about 220 kilometers south of Tehran, as you can see. And it's very close to the nuclear complex in Natanz as well, which, remember, was bombed during last year's 12-day war. As per reports, it contains 2 tunnel complexes buried deep underground, which makes it difficult to destroy. US reportedly suspects Iran of trying to build a secret uranium enrichment facility here. And it's worth noting that Tehran and Washington have been at loggerheads over how to actually deal with Iran's stockpile of enriched uranium. Remember, that's been the core concern here. And when asked about a potential US ground invasion as well, Iran issued a stern warning to America. It also urged the UN nuclear watchdog, IAEA, to condemn the US strikes on the under-construction nuclear power plant in southwest Iran. Here's what was said.
They will see the consequences. I think there are people in those regions, and their number is not small, and they are looking forward to welcoming those guys.
With both sides essentially keeping the diplomatic option open, as they say, is a temporary halt in hostilities on the horizon? Or are the differences too difficult to break through? America and Iran's future course of action, the next moves, will be very closely watched. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.